So I get to nerd out today with gear. I got a hold of the Rev 7. Obviously, if you follow me, you know I've recently bought the Rev 5. Circumstantial, but I'm so happy with this purchase. And of course, I have the Rev 1 as a backup to the backup, which I do for like smaller stuff. The exciting thing about this is that I'm gonna get a chance to kind of compare some of the stuff. So I'm gonna share my comparisons with you guys. So let's talk about power source, for example, right? For this right here is USB. This is all you need, literally. That's it. It's USB powered, so you don't have to worry about nothing. Plug and play, simple, to the point, straightforward. And don't get it twisted, man. The features on here are pretty good. So now for the Rev 5, this is going to be your power supply. One thing about it is Type-C. The cool thing about it is if you are in a clinch and you happen to forget your power supply, if you have someone there with like an iPad or even a laptop, some of these things right now that has Type-C, it'll work perfectly fine. It'll have enough strength to run it. I've actually haven't had that situation, but I have put it to the test. So just something to keep in mind. Obviously with this, you got the DDJ platters, which I kind of like. You can basically change how loose you want them to be, how tight you want them to be. That's usually how I keep mine, just so that I have. Here's Rev 7, and this is the power supply for this. Big brick. Basically, traditional, I guess, input, the way I used to do it before for you to plug in. So huge difference between the three already with just the power supply. So you have a big brick with the older version of the connection on the back of the actual shit. And I'm actually going to show you the backs of all three of them so you can kind of check it out. And then obviously the Type-C for this one, which is a plus to me personally. And then, of course, USB powered for this one. On the back of the Rev 1, real simple. RCA, obviously your input for your USB. One cool thing is it does allow you to have a mic in there so you can record whatever you need to record, your voiceovers or your mix or whatever the case is, your shout outs, whatever you want to do. So that's kind of convenient, especially for something entry level or what is considered entry level. Then of course we have the Rev 5, XLR, RCAs, 1/4 inch, your Type-C for A and B. That's another thing, keep in mind, there is no USB in here whatsoever. It's Type-C all the way, but you can get two laptops to connect. So if you're transitioning from one DJ to the other, that's super convenient. RCA for auxiliary, which means that if you need to plug in a separate device, you can onto it. And mic outputs, real simple stuff. Now time for the legendary Rev 7. As you can see, don't mind my dog in the background. As you can see, pretty much same layout. You have the A and B. Once again, this is USB, so you have A and B. You can also transition from one DJ to the other, which is super convenient in a clinch, especially if you're in the club and you got the guest DJ, or if you guys are doing a back-to-back or something similar. So that's pretty cool. But other than that, it's pretty much laid out the same way as the Rev 5. So going back to the Rev 1, the one thing I can definitely say about the Rev 1 personally is that even though it's designed to be entry level, you can use it. As a pro, you can still use it. It comes in handy in a clutch. I actually use it for one of my gigs because one of the gigs that I have, it's a small venue. It's really nothing too crazy, and it's not laid out to be like a real massive club night type of thing. It's not. So for something like that, I can still cut, I can still mix, I can still do what I need to do with it, and it absolutely serves the purpose. I mean, the only thing I would say, yeah, it is small, you know what I'm saying, your cue and your play, your pads are definitely real small by comparison to the Rev 5 and the Rev 7, but as far as being dependable, absolutely. Not to say that the Rev 5 is not lightweight, because it is, it's not heavy. Now, this one right here is super heavy. Super heavy by comparison. Now going back to the Rev 1, obviously, if you're a beginner and you want to learn how to scratch, something like that. I know people criticize a controller that has a built-in scratch type of feature or whatever. I get it, I do. But if you use it, you know what I'm saying, to kind of guide you on the scratch pattern itself, as opposed to using it while you're actually playing, then I think that's a cool feature to have on here. I don't use it, but the fact that it's there, it doesn't offend me. The biggest things that I was trying to figure out was, did I make a mistake in purchasing the Rev 5 versus the Rev 7? When I first purchased it, I already was familiar with the Rev 7 because, again, this is my buddy's. He typically keeps it at the club that I play at. So there's a lot of times when I actually do use it, right? So in comparison, real quick, the Rev 1, that's just a backup. It comes in handy. It's lightweight. It's trusty. It's my sidekick, right? As far as the Rev 5, I am super happy that I got it. I do not regret it for a minute. I think it's super dope. You know, the fader, the up faders, everything is just crisp. Now, obviously, I have questioned the fact that I use the platter instead of getting something with the motorized platter, you know what I mean? So CDJ platter versus motorized platter, if we want to talk about that, the motorized platter, definitely, if you're like a real heavy duty turntablist, then yeah, I get it. I'm not. I make videos, you know, coming up with stuff, just me fooling around, just trying to learn new stuff, just because I'm always an advocate of learning new things. As far as the platter, I like the platter. I can scratch on it, obviously. I can do my thing. And then, of course, you know what I'm saying, just if I'm going out to my regular, you know, mixing, you know, like let's say house music or dance music in general, you know what I'm saying, then that obviously serves a purpose or whatever the case is. So in conclusion, what I really want to say is the Rev 5 was definitely a great purchase. I'm super excited about it, but it's up to you what you guys want to get. I just figured I'd share some information with you guys and, you know what I mean, take a look at it, side-by-side comparison.